At exactly 11:47 p.m., Arjun's phone rang. Unknown number. He glanced at the screen and ignored it. A few seconds later, it rang again. And then again. Annoyed, he answered. Hello. Silence. Only the faint sound of breathing. Who is this? Nothing. Then the call disconnected. Arjun shook his head and placed the phone on the table. Probably a prank call. He was about to sleep when a notification appeared. Voicemail received. That immediately felt strange. Nobody left voicemails anymore. Curious, he pressed play. Static filled the room. Then an elderly man's voice emerged. Weak. Tired. Almost trembling. Arjun. The sound of his own name made him sit upright. The voice continued. If you're hearing this, I'm sorry. Arjun frowned. He had never heard this voice before. Not once in his life. The man took a deep breath. I should have called years ago. I should have told you the truth. But every year I convinced myself there would be another tomorrow. The recording ended. No explanation. No name. Nothing. Arjun replayed it 3 times. Something about the voice felt real. Not dangerous. Not threatening. Just sad. The next morning he tried to forget it. Work helped. Meetings. Deadlines. Phone calls. Presentations. Life moved fast. But every now and then, he remembered the voice. Especially the sadness. 3 days later, another voicemail arrived. This time the old man's voice sounded weaker. Happy birthday, son. Arjun froze. His birthday was next week. How did this stranger know that? The voice continued. You are turning 32. I wish I could have been there for all of them. The recording stopped. Arjun stared at his phone. His stomach tightened. Son, what was happening? That evening he drove to his parents' house. His father was watering plants outside. The same man who had taught him how to ride a bicycle. The same man who attended every school function. The same man who never forgot a birthday. Hey, Dad. His father smiled. You're here unexpectedly. Inside, his mother was preparing dinner. Everything looked normal. Everything felt normal. Until Arjun played the voicemail. The smile disappeared from his mother's face. Completely. The color drained from her skin. She looked terrified. Not confused. Not surprised. Terrified. Where did you get this? She whispered. Arjun's heartbeat quickened. You know him? His mother didn't answer. That silence was answer enough. For the first time in his life, Arjun felt like a stranger in his own family. Mom. Her eyes filled with tears. Please don't ask. That response only made things worse. Because now he knew. There was a secret. A real secret. One that had been hidden for decades. That night Arjun couldn't sleep. At 2:14 a.m. another voicemail arrived. He immediately pressed play. The old man's voice sounded exhausted. As if every word hurt. Today I bought your birthday gift. A weak laugh followed. I know that sounds silly. I've been buying them every year. Since the day you were born. Arjun frowned. Buying gifts. Every year. The voice continued. I never got to give you even one. Silence. Then a painful whisper. There are 32 of them now. The message ended. Arjun sat frozen. 32 gifts. One for every year of his life. What kind of stranger does that? And why? The next morning he confronted his mother again. This time she didn't avoid the conversation. Instead, she disappeared into her bedroom. A few minutes later she returned holding an old photograph. Her hands were shaking. Arjun took the picture. The moment he saw it, his heart stopped. The photo showed a younger version of his mother. Standing beside her was a smiling man. And in her arms, a baby. Him. Arjun looked up. His voice barely worked. Who is he? His mother's eyes filled with tears. For several seconds she couldn't speak. Finally she whispered a single name. David. Arjun had never heard that name before. Not once. Not in 32 years. Yet somehow that name carried enough weight to make his mother cry. She looked at the photograph. Then at her son. Then away. As if she had spent decades preparing for this moment. And still wasn't ready. What she said next changed everything. David isn't a stranger. Arjun felt his chest tighten. His mother broke down. And through tears she finally revealed the truth. David is your father. The room went silent. Completely silent. Arjun stared at her. Unable to think. Unable to move. Unable to understand. Because the man he called Dad, the man who raised him, the man who loved him, was sitting outside watering plants. And now his mother was telling him another man existed. A man who had been leaving voicemails. A man who had been buying birthday gifts. A man who somehow knew everything about him. A man he had never met. Before Arjun could ask another question, his phone vibrated. Another voicemail. His hands trembled as he pressed play. The old man's voice was barely audible. Arjun, if you're listening, I don't have much time left. A long pause followed. Then came the words that would change everything. I never abandoned you. The voicemail ended. And suddenly, the entire story he had just heard no longer made sense. If David never abandoned them, then who did? End of part 1.